Hello, hello, Grace House Club and friends. It is your friend Bird S. Keys, the sage Bird S. Keys, and I'm here with another message. Today, we are doing another episode of the Sober Decisions series, and so far we've done 3 episodes. The third one, the first one I did by note taking, and the second one I did a sit down. And let me know which one you guys prefer. If y'all prefer me to sit down and just chat with y'all, or if y'all prefer the me taking notes while I'm talking. I plan on doing this at least every other video for the series. And we got a few more videos of the series left. And let me know if there's anything y'all want me to expound on. I will do so. Okay. So today I was looking at re being rerouted or redirected. Like if you're going down a path or you had a journey and you have these obstacles you're getting through, and maybe there's a map you're using, but at some point you veer off or you get distracted or you start exploring different things within the journey. So the journey becomes a sector of journeys in itself, and you learn tabs on what you already were supposed to learn. So you get tabs, say like your journey to the library, right? So to say that's how you spell library. And you're supposed to walk past the garden, and this is the path. So there's a path that you should be on, but you're walking past the garden, and then you see the school right before you get to the library, right? So you see the school right before you. I'm sorry, yeah. But so you pass the garden, and you see the school right before you get to the library. But along the way, maybe there's a lemonade stand or something. We got some children. They're selling lemonade. It's a terrible lemonade stand, but I get the picture. But I know it's kind of jumbled up, but I'm just trying to make a point. And the point is, so you are direct, or you're instructed, or even you're advised to go on a journey, and then you have a map that you're following. You pass the garden, and then the school is right before you get to the library. But before you even get to where you are at the school or past the library or to the library, there's a lemonade stand. So we have these tabs, these bullet points of places to look out for as we're headed to the library, so we can stay on track. And mainly that's the point, is staying on track. And we have these goals that we set for ourselves, or that we esteem to prove. And sometimes we slow down or we take a breath, and those are our tabs. And that's the moments where we get different clarity than maybe was expected, or different clarity than intended. Like you went to class for the lesson, and you got a whole spiel of different directions that your journey could take. And sometimes people say that's lost. Like you're lost when you stop walking, or you're lost when you take a breath. But really, no, you are not meant to only see one thing. And that's why our eyes are so open. At least like my entire life I've been told how I have these big brown eyes and why are your eyes so big and big brown pretty eyes. And I would say God may have done that as a joke or even a pun for me in my life, like, because I always see more than what's already there or what's on the surface, or I at least try to when there's not something clearly that I can see. I always look for more than the picture is telling me. Sometimes that could be misleading, and sometimes I need to be redirected in those seasons or those times and seasons. I need to be directed towards where my focus would be most useful. And sometimes, we can have plans, throughout our day, like we want to get this, and this done. And somehow one thing leads to another and another. And before you know it, the whole goal of the day gets missed or not even not even uh taken care of. And so in those moments, I know I found myself like in harsh self-talk, like, why didn't you pay attention? You really could have got up sooner. You got up on that first alarm instead of hitting snooze. And that can be really hard to take, like especially when you're just in it by yourself or in your own head, and the encouragement from the outside world is being missed. But that's why we have to build ourselves up, and that's why you go to places where there is community and there is encouragement, and you can find your way in the journey to where the parts that you most are attracted to and that most make you passionate about the journey. Like, you may just love flowers, you may love fruit, and maybe you saw some, or you may love vegetables too. You saw some carrots being grown in the ground, and that's what made you want to stop and look at the garden. And before you know it, you're 30 minutes behind in your journey to the library, because once you get to the library, something is supposed to happen. And two, you can look at this as a dreamscape, because sometimes we start off in one scene in a dream, and before you know it, you're in a completely different scene and you don't know how they connect together. And honestly, throughout a day, are you really looking for everything to like connect? Maybe you're looking for things to like pop out and kind of show themselves, but I don't know. Like, for me, I like my day with a little spontaneity, where I know I have things that I would like to do, and I would set out a plan to get them done. But to put so much on your plate to where you don't even want to do certain things, like certain things are not as attractive as others. But sometimes it's more important for you to have a discipline of what most is going to keep you together, keep you in good spirits, or keep you focused on the bigger picture. Um, so if you don't get one of the things done or two of the things done, you're not in a depression for a whole week. And yes, that's I'm speaking from experience. Like, you don't want to slow yourself down so much that you stop or that you quit. And you don't want to go through seasons where you're so down for so long that now you got to pick up pieces that maybe don't even serve you anymore. So it's okay to set certain things down sometimes and give yourself room to meditate on your passion and actually get that fire lit again for you to keep pushing and find what it is that will take you away from the sorrow of not pleasing every person in your day or everything not being as perfect as you would like it to be. So, you know, it's good to know where your strength comes from too. And that was another point that I really was focusing on today, knowing where your strength comes from. Because for me and my belief system, I've come through many different journeys that took me far, far away from who I am at my root and at my core, and just being that social butterfly, that hummingbird, that just wants to spread song and joy and be at peace with things. And it was like I was allowing different things to move me that should not have. And that's not easy to admit, because you want to be seen as someone who's responsible and mature and kind of is able to be sound in decision. And that's the whole point in the sober decision series, is we're walking through this place, walking through this valley, and it's not always cookies and rainbows. And sometimes you get hurt along the way, sometimes you lose parts of yourself. Um and sometimes those things that you're losing is things that didn't serve you, and sometimes you just need to embrace the new and know that you are filled with so much creativity, so much ambition, that you can resurface and you can bring out things that you had lying dormant or just didn't even remember that were there. Gifts and um creative gifts and gifts of service, and you can always find your way again, but you do have to make the first step, and I think that's what it is. And I try to implement things within the day that are fulfilling, like making sure I get up and wash my face, brush my teeth, um do something to my hair at all. um And then also sometimes I need a little push and I need something that's going to, like get me moving. Like listen to music that actually makes me feel happy and that makes me feel powerful, and also that makes me feel humble and just have humility for the fact that no matter what has been going on, I haven't been lost to my creator. I haven't been lost to Oh Great Spirit. I haven't been lost to the things that matter most, the people that matter most. I'm still seen, and let myself be seen by myself even. I'm working on a project, and part of that project brought me out to see, like, the first face you see when you wake up, it should be yours. So looking in the mirror for a moment and just being like, I'm here for you. Like, I love you. We got this. We can do this. No matter what the day looks like, no matter what the journey looks like, we're going to keep fighting to, not for perfection, but fighting for serenity and to just have that release of expression. And that's what it is. So expression is, for me, the biggest goal, because there was a time when people weren't looking at the Roman calendar, or looking at um, time the way we do, and they spent their days doing things to get to the next point within that day, or they just went throughout their day, right? Maybe it was, okay, I gotta feed myself or eat. I have to make sure I have shelter, or I have to make sure my shelter is strong and can withstand the weather. So there was points of where they were focused, but it wasn't like everything had to be monotonous, or everything had to be to a T how, you know, people think your day should go, or how you think your day should go. But just looking at the day as a place to use as a canvas, even like put your colors on the canvas and on the paper, and maybe that's enough. Of course we have responsibilities, and even you can say obligations. Some people have families, some people have children, some people have elderlies, people that they're looking after. Some people have to make sure they take medication at a certain time. Um, and that's just what it is. We have these things that we're supposed to do, some things that we need to do in order to survive. Um, but for me, and I even encourage anyone else who just needs some sensibility of discipline, express yourself as much as possible throughout the day and see where that leads you. And of course, don't blow up at anybody if you can control it. Don't be so upset with yourself that you spend the day like a robot, or like a zombie, even not even caring or not even feeling. But let yourself feel and let yourself care. Paint the day. Paint the day and make it yours however you can. Be thankful, be in prayer and thanksgiving and gratitude, and show up. Sometimes that is the very best you can do. Show up. And if you can do anything more than that, show out. So if you're going to do anything and sit down and create something, or sit down and work on something, sit down and write out a plan for how you want the next month to go, or something like that. And just give it your very best. And I think sometimes that's okay. So that's the sober decision for today, or this cycle of our season, the cycle of our life right now. Express yourself, take on the day, paint on the canvas, and let that be enough for today. And if you can relate, or if you find that as sound advice, write down why in the comments. Write down why that resonates with you, and how you're going to hold that moment in order to use it to do something new for yourself, to create something new, something refreshing. And yeah, so that was my spill. Again, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and share the video with anyone you believe that could use this encouragement, that may be in a place where they need a little bit of a push, or a little bit of pop of color, to add to their repertoire, so they can expand and expound on the things that matter to them, and the things that are going to prove to be good and healthy, and create a wealth of goodness within your life and in the day. All right. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.